All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. The main event here. So just a couple of housekeeping things. I changed the background if you guys can see it. Let me know if you like it or if you want the old one back. I'm gonna be going over Iron Valiant here. I was gonna save it for last of the future ones, but I kind of want to do it now. Because there's some details I want to get into. I do have Iron Hands and Iron Moth left. Let me know if you guys want to see those or if you want me to start with the past Paradox mods. I've seen some other requests that I want to do as well. But let me know if you want me to start with the past Paradox mods, and if so, which ones, or if you want me to finish all the future ones, then go into the past ones. So again, we're going to be going over Iron Valiant today. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be going over 2 sets to start, but with different EV spreads and small differences, because I want to get into some more slightly complex stuff with the spreads. But also with some simple stuff because I like simple and other people like simple. And then we'll go over 2 more spreads that are not on this first screen. So as normal, we compare the Paradox form to the original. As you can see, Iron Valiant has a higher base HP stat, a higher attack stat, a higher defense stat, a higher special attack stat, a much lower special defense, and a much higher speed. So overall, probably a way better Pokemon minus that putrid special defense. The typing is probably a little bit better because you have fairy and fighting, and fairy covers dark. Fairy and fighting both cover dark very well. With this, you do cover dark, but with this, you don't have to worry about dark types at all, right? Basically, right? It probably is a little bit better typing. Fairy plus most things is always going to be a little bit better typing. Fighting covers steel, but psychic doesn't really cover steel well, so it probably is a better typing overall. Has the quark drive ability versus like this has justified and steadfast and so like it's not, the abilities in here aren't like insane. Justified's pretty good though. So with all that being said, let's get into the first set. So when a Pokemon is like this, right, where it has good attack and special attack, sometimes I tend to lean towards using the special side just because you're not intimidate bait. So this first set is gonna be something very simple. You're gonna have Moonblast, but you can use Dazzling Gleam. You're gonna use Aura Spear because I think it's its most reliable fighting type special stab. It does have Focus Blast, but it's like 70 accuracy, and anybody who's played knows that that 70 is more like 7. So it's really unreliable to use. With this, right, you can also use Calm Mind to boost yourself even further after the booster energy if you want. And no, actually, I take that back. Scratch that, because booster energy is not boosting your special attack here. That's why we can use Calm Mind, because we can boost special attack and we can boost that putrid special defense. Because our HP is it's all right, and the defense is not bad. So if you can like boost up your special defense, you could survive hits that maybe you potentially would not normally. So for the spread, it's very simple because this is the simple set. Very simple spread of 252 speed, 252 special attack. With the booster energy, you're gonna get your speed up a stage, and it is gonna allow you to outspeed most things. No, not most things. Every single thing in the game that isn't boosted itself. So you'll outspeed all the other Paradox forms that are not also using booster energy for speed. You outspeed Dragapult. You outspeed every Pokemon in the game that is not boosted. Boost always change things, but with your +1 in speed here, you're gonna outspeed everything that is not boosted. I just want to drive that home because the next set is gonna go into better detail with that. So again, this is the same set because, like I said, I'm gonna go over the 2 sets here, but with differences in the EV spreads. Also, before I proceed, the Terra type, I probably go for Fairy just because you can get that really strong Moonblast stab or that really strong Dazzling Gleam stab. Or Spear is more so just for hitting like steel types and stuff like that. So you could go fighting, but I think just hitting everything for like big Moonblast damage is probably more valuable to you. So the difference with this spread is the EVs. So with the 172 timid, you still outspeed everything that's not boosted. You still outspeed everything that's not boosted. You could actually go lower with this. But the only issue is that if you go lower and you get Jihad's 173, you're power creeping your own special attack, because if your special attack is higher, you're not gonna get the speed boost, and then you're not outspeeding anything. So this is the lowest you can go for speed is 172 timid. to get the speed boost from booster energy. So with this, you are still outspeeding everything in the game that's not boosted by a significant margin. But you also get to take some of your spread, your EV spread, and put it into your bulk, so you get some more HP. You can throw 4 in special defense, and you can still combine, and now you have some extra bulk to support that boost. Now you're probably thinking, if that's the case, why not just run this over this? And I'll tell you why. Because with this amount of speed, the booster energy boost, if you don't get that boost, or what I mean is, if you get your speed reduced by 1, or if you switch this Pokemon out and you lose that boost, now you're only outspeeding everything from the 105 speeds. So like Palmont is 105. You're outspeeding the base 100. So Salamence, Charizard, you're outspeeding Garchomp, which is like 102. So you're only outspeeding those things if you don't have your boost anymore. So everything above 105, so like even like Raichu, which is like 110, will outspeed you. All that stuff will outspeed you without the boost, which is why it's a little bit more difficult to use. So if you do use a set like this, be mindful of stuff like that, which is why something like this is a bit just safer, because even without the boost, you will outspeed everything that's 115 or lower. So it's safer. This one gives you a little bit more versatility. But there is a risk involved with being outsped by stuff that are normally slower than you, because you don't have your booster energy boost. And if you haven't seen previous videos, booster energy, if you have Quark Driver photosynthesis, it'll activate that ability for you without the terrain or the sun. It'll take your highest stat, make it 1 times 3, or 1.5 if it's speed. So just keep that in mind. 1 stage up if it's speed. So now we're going to go into this. So this is a physical set. This is a Terra Blast is going to be Terra Fairy, because it doesn't get Play Rough. It gets Spirit Break. So if you want something that you don't have to Terrestrialize for, you could use Spirit Break, but Terra Blast is just stronger. Now you could argue that Spirit Break has a bit more utility because you're lowering the opponent's special attack and your special defense is not great. So if you choose to use that, that's fine. Close combat is its strongest fighting stab. So you are losing some defenses, but realistically, this is just going to be a offensive kind of go for broke kind of set. Liquidation is what I put here because you do struggle a little bit against fire types because they resist fairy. And then the fire types are like Arcanine, which can intimidate you and make your close combat not hit as hard. At least with like liquidation, because what is this, 120? Liquidation, you can at least hit them for like 170 base power over your close combat, which is like 180 actually. So if you could just close combat them, but if you want to not sacrifice your defenses, then you can go for the liquidation. Some other options for this slot are stuff like Thunder Punch, if you want to hit flying types. I feel like he gets Ice Punch too, so if you want to hit grass types, depending on what you need. So that is a flexible slot, very, very flexible slot. You could even switch it with like, actually no, let's save that for the next slide. Let's go with liquidation for now. Okay, so now again we're gonna go to a similar set. So it's still Terra Blast, physical for fairy, close combat for your fighting stab. But in this set, you're gonna have Swords Dance and Protect. The reason you're gonna have Swords Dance, right, is because you're gonna sacrifice a little bit of your attack here. Because again, just like with the previous set, we're gonna go 172 speed, which lets us outspeed everything without a boost, except in the same risk apply. If you lose your boost, you get outsped by anything above 105. But with this, now you have to, in order to get the speed boost, you have to once again creep your own stats because 173 needs to be higher than 172. Oh, whatever. So you go for 172 attack. Now you have a lot of EVs left to use. So you can pack a lot into the special defense and then put some in the HP. Most people would say put all of it in HP because it then distributes it between defense and special defense. But I think because your defense is all right and your special defense is so bad, you're putting a little bit extra here is not bad, and then just putting some in your HP to help bolster that, because it does mean you do take hits differently. You could run calc to see how differently, but you do take hits differently when your HP is higher versus your defenses. So, for example, if your defenses are higher, you'll take less damage from the move numerically. Like let's say something's doing 50, but instead of do like 40. If you put your HP up, but leave your defenses alone, if an attack was gonna do 50 HP before, it's always gonna do 50, It's just that that number is a smaller percent of your total HP. So that's like the kind of difference there. So that's something that I would just take into consideration. Um, just as a special request for someone who did in the comments as well, just really fast, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put these at level 100, all of them, because VGC is played at level 50, as we know. But this person mentioned that they understand a little bit better at level 100. So as you can see here, you still, outspeeding stuff with your base 100 stats. I'm going to go to the next one, just show those at base 100 as a something, as a, like I said, a request from someone. So I would watch out, because this is, I mean, granted, this is still higher, so you're good, so you're still getting your boost. But at base 100, numbers do change a little bit, so you may even be potentially be able to, like, let me see something. If you go like 160, that's 158. If you go like 160, you actually can 164. 168. So you can actually use 168, because the EVs do go a little bit differently at 100. So you can go like 4 and 4, or you can just go like 8 here. So that's actually pretty interesting. I'm actually glad I did that for people who do play at 100 levels on different formats. This is just very standard here. So for something like this, you could probably go 168, because you're still outspeeding your attack stat. If you go to 176, you can actually go higher in the attack if you're at 100. So 340, and then you have 341, so you're still outspeeding. Now I don't know how. I'd have to do the numbers to see if you're outspeeding like Dragapult level 100 with this stuff. No, I'm pretty sure you are. It probably works out the same, but you can change the numbers a little bit. So that's just pretty funny that you can do that. So I want to go over 2 last sets. Then we'll be out of here. So first things first, this is going to be like your support set. Support sets tend to have a lot in common, where you're not really worried about boosting up your stats, but more about surviving. You could go like into like huge bulky calculations, but you're not that bulky, so you're just gonna go with a focus sash in case you get one tapped. Max HP in case you do face something that you're resisting the hits for. You're not gonna have a lot of attacks, so you're just gonna go with the Dazzling Gleam just for some damage. You still get Fairy Stab. Taunt is like one of the best supported moves of all time, because you're just stopping stuff. Thunder Wave is actually really good here, because you are really fast and you can spread those Thunder Waves around. You can probably get 2 off unless you're getting faked out. And this thing does have what's that move called? Quick Guard. So you could switch Quick Guard out for something like this to protect yourself, and then spread Thunder Waves around. And then you have Helping Hand, which I think is like one of the best support moves ever as well. You're just gonna go for your max speed, so you can get these Taunt and Thunder Waves off really quickly before your Pokemon gets destroyed. And then last but not least, this is a really interesting set, right? This is going to be the most complicated one. It's actually a mix set where you go Dazzling Gleam, because you can get a good spread type fairy move. You're going to go close combat for hitting those steel types. That's really what it's for, hitting steel types. And again, liquidation can hit fire types for you, but you can also switch that for Thunder Punch, Ice Punch. If you want to use Brick Break for screens, if you want to switch that for a special fighting move, you can. There's Energy Ball, there's Drain Punch for more health if you want to get that. There's a lot of options. There's Hyper Voice, yeah. So you can go Icy Wind if you want, whatever. But it's a mixed set. The spread is here. So you do have the 252 again, just for the max speed, just to keep it simple. So you get the speed boost, outspeed everything. And then here, if you go 164 in your special attack and 92 in your attack, you can get them to be about even, right? So you're not really sacrificing one over the other. It's a fun little mix that you can try out if you want to catch people off guard. They can maybe set up their, light screen, and you hit them with close combat, or they set up their physical screens because you use close combat first, and now you can hit it with Dazzling Gleam. So it is a fun little set you can do. You can probably change the speed down like the other sets. We're not going to get into all that. But let me know what you guys think of these sets at all. If you have more questions, comment them below and I'll answer them. I've been answering questions that people have been asking about natures and stats and stuff like that in the comments. I'll answer them. So leave them in the comments below. I think that's all I got for you guys today. So thank you guys for watching. Leave a like for your boy. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. A lot of you guys have been subscribing from watching, so I do appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.